let's first talk about what is compression with cats, and then after that I'm going to show you some examples in a DAW. So here we have loud signals and quiet signals. So meow, 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 meow. We're going to add a threshold here just to the neckline of the big cats. So what compression does is that it compresses everything above the threshold. So if you look at after picture, the threshold is the same place, the little cats are in the same place, but what's happened to the heads of the big cats? Well, they've been squashed. Poor things. So now what it has done is that it's reduced the dynamic range between the loud and the quiet signals. So now it would sound more like meow, 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 meow. That's basically what compressor does. We also have a thing called makeup gain. Why do we need that? It's because when we reduce the dynamic range of the signal, we reduce the gain of the signal. So actually, with compressor, we are making things quieter. So that's why we have a makeup gain to make things loud again. Instead of going meow, 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 we're going meow, 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 which is about the same gain as the original. After this, let's talk about ratio. Ratio means how much compression is applied above the threshold. This is example something like ratio of 2:1. But what if we add 10:1 ratio? What's happening to the cat's head? They're getting crushed even more. Poor things. Okay, now let's talk about attack, release, and knee in compressor. So we have here a signal that looks like a stretching cat, but it's actually a kick. So the sound sounds something like mew, mew, mew. So it has a high transient here, and then it kind of fades away. Okay, so attack is how quickly compressor starts after the signal crosses the threshold, whereas release is how long it takes for the compressor to stop once the signal falls back below it. So example, punchy kick is a really good example. So here example, we let the transient, the bum, to go through before we start compressing the signal. Basically, we are going to create a higher distance between the transient and the low part, which creates a punchier kick. Now, knee is how smoothly the transition from compression to full compression. What does that mean? So let's say that the threshold is here. We are talking about these points here. So here under the threshold, we do not do compression. Above the threshold, we do compression. So how smooth is the transition from no compression to compression? So soft knee eases in gradually like a slowly dimming light in the room, and hard knee switches on like a flick of the light at a full brightness. Yeah, let's have a look. 2 examples on how compression works in our DAWs. Again, remember, if you're not Ableton user, it works exactly the same in all the other DAWs as well. So here is the vocals without compressor. Make me feel safe. Carry me. Rock me in life. Hold me closer. Okay, so in this kind of track, I want that there's a little bit more consistency in the vocals. I want every single syllable and breath to be heard. So that's why I need to reduce the distance between the highest point and the lowest point of the signal. I also want that this vocal is going to come out of the mix a little bit more, so it kind of stands on top of everything. So I'm going to apply a compressor here. Now, first thing we need to do is apply threshold. Either you can go here and just put the threshold down visually. Make me feel safe. See where the highest peaks are and lowest peaks. So remember the line on the cat's necks. That's what we are trying to see. Where do we put it? So visually you can see here in a compressor, different compressors might not have a visual. So what you can do instead is go to here and see where is the highest point of the signal on the track. Carry me. So around between -12 and -24. So if we put the compressor about -30, we are catching most of the heads of the cats. So the highest peaks of the track. So -30, did I say? Yeah, you can see it here. Voila. Now we're going to add some ratio. So again, remember, this is the amount of compressor that has been applied above the threshold. So it's catching the peaks. Whee! Now, attack and release is how fast does the compressor start working. So, example, in this one, I wanted to catch most of the signal. So I'm going to put it quite slow. If you work on a kick example, you might want to have it a little bit slower like that. So it passes the transients. So for example, I have here a kick and here a compressor. You can see that the attack is also a lot slower. There we go. But in these vocals, we want to make that it's a little bit faster, so we get more even out vocals. Release, I'm going to keep it quite fast over there. That's absolutely fine. And next we have a knee. How fast is it going to start from no compression to compression? So here in this graph, you can see it quite nicely with these little yellow ball. So white one is soft knee, hard knee. I'm going to make it quite soft, so maybe 8 decibels. Okay, now it's a lot quieter than it was before, wasn't it? It makes things quieter, so now we need to make it louder. I'm going to show you this with this fader that I've created, so please go to my website down below to download this fader. Download for free. So this is the volume that is going into the compressor, and this is the volume that is coming out of the compressor. Look at the difference. Look how much quieter that is. So now we're gonna go into the makeup gain, so the out. You have also auto makeup gain, but don't use that. Just do it manually because you have a lot more control over it. Now we're just gonna bring it up. Carry me, ooh, make me feel safe. Not that much. Carry me. So without compressor, make me feel safe. Carry me. There's a lot more dynamics. It breathes a lot, but now with compressor, it sounds like this. Carry me. Make me feel safe. Carry me. Woo! It's a lot more in the front. Wrap me in light. Hold me closer. You can hear my tonight, the T's and S's and every kind of syllable and sound of my voice. This is a new channel, so please subscribe and follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more cat videos like this. I also have online courses on Ableton Live, so please check that out down below. And let me know down in the comments what you want to learn next.